All right. Hopefully, we got some cool intro music happening very shortly. We have a little audio, Eh, but that's okay. We'll just get started. No intro. It's a blind intro. How you doing, Abigail?
I'm doing just fine.
Welcome to We Are a Crotchety Old Man,
And a woman.
the podcast for you, with you, and sometimes even about you. Today's a fun day as we have a special guest. Mrs. Alfred has joined us. Say hi, Mrs. Alfred.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah, so I apologize about the audio. That was my fault. I couldn't press the button correctly. But it happens, as you know. Mrs. Alfred, do you enjoy soup?
Love soup.
Because today is National Bullion Day. And
Oh,
do you ever make fresh bouillon, like take out a bouillon cube and make some soup?
I have never done that in my life.
What about you, Abigail?
Absolutely not.
Hmm. Got it. So, neither have I. So, outside of ramen noodles, I guess that's as close as I can get. In history today, we got a couple ones. We got four of them. The first one, in 1944, the U.S. Congress established the rank of five-star general
Hmm.
slash admiral. Now, Abigail or Mrs. Alfred, can you name one former five-star general or admiral? I'll give you a hint. One was a president.
Um, can't think of his name.
Anything? 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 Okay, well, that was Dwight Eisenhower, Douglas MacArthur, Omar Bradley, Chester Nimitz, William Halsey. Those were some. There was actually nine that have ever been granted. Omar Bradley was the last five-star general we ever had, and it's the head of the army. That total, both anywhere the army goes, they're the actual head of it. Colin Powell was going to be, believe it or not, a five-star general, but that didn't happen. I bring that up because later we're going to be talking possibly about some Army Navy stuff. But in 2003, on this day, the announcement of Saddam Hussein's capture happened. Do you remember that? Where
Absolutely.
he was found in a little hole and he was all disheveled. Worst part is I'm looking more and more like him every day. I mean, look at this giant bald spot. If I don't shave, I'm starting to look like Saddam Hussein getting out of there. Now that was announced by George Bush, and later, 5 years later, on the same day, do you remember when he had shoes thrown at him? And he was in
Yes.
Baghdad, and that's considered a massive insult to you if someone throws shoes at you. So, if I ever get mad, I may have to throw something at Abigail. But of course, she would throw it right back at me very hard. Then she'd beat me with it. Last thing I got for you. 2015, Star Wars The Force Awakens hits theaters. What a piece of shit. It ruined all of my Star Wars movies forever. It's never
Really?
been, yes, horrible.
Why?
Why? Because it was number one, the storyline was awful. Second, they made it so woke that you had to, like, the original Star Wars movies weren't woke. Princess Leia was a badass, but at the same time, you believed she was an actual badass. You had Luke, you had Chewbacca. It was great. But this one, I mean, they had little Susie Q running around knowing how to use the Force and a lightsaber right off the bat. It was dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Just stupid. They just added characters that didn't need to be in there. They actually added extra male characters. And it ruined Star Wars. That was I don't want to say the beginning of the downfall, but that was bad.
You're a nerd.
I am a nerd. I admit it. I admit it. But at least I know I could do a podcast not really well by myself. Man, I missed Abigail quite a lot. Abigail, you had a story, right? That you wanted to share. And first of all, thank you for letting me try to do it by myself. So tell me about that story.
Okay, I actually got two.
Oh, you have two. Oh, okay.
Yes. About a week ago, I went to a baby shower,
Okay.
and it was nice, eating and talking and giggling and all. And the host, or the mother to be, announced the game, and she
Okay.
said there are 100 ducks on this floor, little ducks. They were no bigger than the size of a dime.
Okay. Wow,
She
those are tiny
said,
ducks.
so we're going to have a game where you go around and you find as many ducks as you can, and then whoever has the most at the end wins. So
Okay.
I'm eating, and I was like, okay. So I get up and I start going around the house, and I'm getting all these ducks, and I'm like, boy, I want to win this game. And I'm just chugging them up. And so then I go to the mother to be, and I said, I need a Ziploc bag to hold all these ducks. And she said, oh no. And I said, what? She said, you weren't supposed to start the game until 4:45.
You
And it was
cheated.
4:30. And I was like, oh my God. I had to go back and put all the ducks back in where I found them all. And then I told her, I said, I guess I can't play the game.
You totally cheated.
It was very, very embarrassing.
Did you say, I don't give a duck? Where's my prize?
It was so embarrassing.
You just were very competitive and excited to play. That's all.
Was there any alcohol involved? Or are you just like, I'm
No.
gonna win this. I'm winning this.
No, I was just like, I'm gonna win this. And yeah. But I put them all back.
Mrs. Alfred, it's hard to play Abigail in any sport because she gets crazy competitive.
That's good. I like it.
You know those little like the things you hold on to in air hockey?
Yes.
I beat her and she threw one at me. It was bad. Hit me right in the head. Couldn't miss.
Then my other embarrassing story took place earlier this week, in Fort Lauderdale. I had to suffer and go down there. And the hotel was decorated beautifully all throughout. And they had this one wall of nothing but ornaments, blue balls, silver balls.
Eh,
And
you said blue balls.
you had to say it. You had to say it. Anyway,
Silver balls. Go ahead,
so
I'm sorry.
I'm leaving a restaurant with a client, and I've got my big bag that's holding my purse and stuff. And we're talking and walking, and I pulled the bag over my shoulder, and I crash into the wall of ornaments.
Uh-oh.
And all these ornaments come crashing to the ground. And I'm like, oh my God, and fortunately there was an employee that ran up to help me, but it was just so embarrassing. And then later that day, me and my colleague were walking by the wall, and we noticed there were other ornaments missing. So clearly someone else had done it too. And by the last night, the whole wall was taken down.
You started a trend of breaking ornaments.
So those are my two embarrassing stories of the week.
You stole ducks and you broke ornaments.
Fat and 100.
Nice. So with that, what? So you were away, and I don't know if Mrs. Alfred, have you been consumed? And I wanted to ask you about this drone story.
Yes, I am.
Have you seen any drones? Because you guys live where like you could actually see stars and stuff. Did you see any drones flying
No.
overhead?
No, but my coworkers have seen them, and they said they're actually really pretty big and they hover pretty low. Very interesting.
Did you want to shoot them with a gun? Shoot them down?
I think they should.
Well, have you ever seen so? Did you see the guy who was police officers talking to him, and he said, "Yeah, I was shooting at him. I took out my 9mm and just shot at him, but I missed." And the guy he goes, "Is that a crime?" And the officer goes, Yes, yes, it is. He goes, am I in trouble? He goes, you're in a lot of trouble. And you just admitted that you committed this crime.
Oh my God.
There's another one of a guy shooting an AR-15, which is a very powerful rifle. He's shooting that one. He's like, and he of course misses every single time, which is also bad. But so I was finding out, Abigail. I know you're starting. I've gotten you kind of obsessed with this because it's my favorite thing watching in the news. They have been seen in California, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, Florida, four bases in the United Kingdom, aka England, and Germany.
And
What is
we'll probably get more intelligence out of England and Germany than we are from our own United States federal government.
well?
This is outlandish.
It's outlandish. And Donald Trump, who, by the way, he gets the intel briefings now. As the incoming eventual president, he does get the intel briefings. He is not allowed to share anything because he's not the president. But he did say that the government is not letting on what it knows. That's all he was allowed to share.
Well, they gotta go.
Now, what I saw, of course, now I'm on Twitter way too much. And there's four possibilities. Number one, they're Chinese drones. And someone asked me, how could they be flown by Chinese people? Well, there's been over 38,000 Chinese men who have actual fighting age, believe it or not, who have come into the United States in the last 4 years illegally. They came over the border. So it's pretty easy using shipping containers to ship parts over, and so that was number one. Second one was Iran could be doing this. According to, and I apologize, I forgot the name of the Republican congressman of New Jersey. He said that there is a quote unquote mothership that actually controls other drones that he saw flying out of as my mom would call it, the Parisian Gulf or the Persian Gulf. And so he said that could be launching them. The third one is that it's just the U.S. troops maybe practicing some kind of self-defense system. And the fourth one, actual aliens. And the alien one, this is the only reason it has any type of credibility, is last month they were having congressional hearings on aliens. Makes you think. Anything to add, Mrs. Alfred?
No,
Are you scared of aliens?
I'm not scared of aliens. No.
Oh, okay. If there was an alien that walked, would you hope it was like one of those little gray guys or like an insect guy or a lizard guy?
I don't think they could be any scare. I'd be like a slee stack. That's what I would hope.
Oh, a slee stack.
Yeah.
Abigail, do you even know what a slee stack is?
I don't.
Did you ever watch Land of the Lost? Marshall,
No.
Will, and Holly, routine expedition?
Classic.
Classic. They were like these slow-moving lizard people that couldn't catch anybody.
I'm totally dating myself right now with that reference.
You're old.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. How are your kitties, by the way? How are the little cats doing?
Kitties are doing good. You know,
Yeah.
the cold kind of gets them. They don't go outside at night anymore, so they're a little bit rambunctious in the house. But for the most part, they're really good.
Nice. No, I had to know about see how they were doing.
Mhm.
Which brings me to the next segment that I'm skipping over. I sent an itinerary and I'm skipping over because it's more fun this way. Because Mrs. Alfred is here to talk a little about cats and wanted to ask Abigail some true and false questions about cats. So take it away.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Abigail, have you ever had cats or you've only had dogs?
I've only had dogs, so I'm a little apprehensive about this game.
Well, that's
tonight.
why I figured I'd just keep it nice and simple. But since I'm obsessed with cats, I figured your listeners might want to kind of know some of these true or false questions. So I'll go with something nice and simple. Do cats see in color?
Mm.
True or false?
True is a guess.
They do.
Nice.
They can actually see blue and yellow the best, and they don't do so well with red and green. So Christmas decorations aren't really going to do anything for them.
Mm.
All right, I'm impressed. Number two, cats can drink seawater. True or false?
You said they can drink seawater?
Yes,
False.
that is actually true.
Ah. Ooh.
Their kidneys can filter salt out of the water.
Oh.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
All right, question number three. Has a cat ever been to space?
Ooh.
True or false?
False.
It's actually true in 1963.
There's a trend here. I should just say true to everything.
You got a 50-50 chance. All right, you're okay. You're 1 for 3.
All right, and you can chime in there, Arden.
No, I know all these answers.
You do?
No.
All right. Are white cats considered albino cats?
False.
That is correct. It's
All
false.
right.
But
Okay.
albino cats are considered white cats.
Hmm.
Go
Why you
figure
gotta
that.
be racist?
All right, you silly. Question 5. Do cats meow to other cats?
True.
Actually, they do not.
They do not.
They do not.
Adult cats actually communicate with humans by meowing.
By the way,
Really?
I apologize. Our little puppy who's mad at the cat questions is barking because Santa Claus is riding by on a fire truck.
The best. We had that today.
Yeah, so sorry about the distraction, everyone.
No problem. And by the way, just to clarify, kittens actually meow to their mothers, but that's the only time they do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that I actually knew, believe it or not.
Okay. Well, you had a cat, so you might know some of these.
And what was
True.
my cat's name? Do you remember?
Pudding?
Puddin'. My little Puddin', who absolutely adored Alfred.
I didn't know that.
Adored him.
He
Loved
just gave
him.
a thumbs up. I guess he's silent today.
I love pudding.
He loved pudding. Oh,
Yep.
That's sweet.
Yep.
All
They're
right.
buddies.
Is that Benji or Toto?
That's Toto. He's guarding the house from Santa Claus.
All right. Question 6. Are domestic cats genetically linked to tigers?
Linked to who?
Tigers.
True.
That is true. Do you want to take a guess on what the percentage is?
18%.
95.6%.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I never would have guessed that.
Genetically identical to tigers. 95.6%. That is crazy.
It is crazy.
One of those dogs is mad.
Not as not as crazy as Toto.
Toto is not happy. I don't think it's Santa. I think it's the conversation.
Talking about cats. Talking about me.
Talking about cats, talking about Santa.
Oh
Toto's
my-
losing his poor little mind today.
Aw.
Even
All right.
Benji's barking.
So question about Benji and Toto, and maybe Arden knows this, I don't really know. Do they eat sweets? Do they have a sweet tooth?
No.
They don't. Did you know
Well,
that,
they
Arden?
like treats. They like doggy treats.
But nothing sweet.
I don't think so.
So then my question would be, do you know if cats can taste sweet?
Oh, I think they do. True.
They actually cannot.
Oh man, I've done awful.
They can't taste sugar, so they don't have any desire to eat it. I thought that was interesting because apparently Some dogs like honey and pumpkin cookies. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I thought that was kind
Pumpkin
of
cookies. Huh.
cute. All right, next question. That's question number 8. Can cats rotate their ears 180 degrees?
False.
It's actually true.
Oh, Jesus. You're tearing me up, Mrs.
Yeah.
Al.
Well, I thought that was interesting. They have 32 muscles in each ear, so they can really hone in on noises. I thought that was so cool.
Wow, I have gotten a great respect for cats now.
I know, they're incredible. What
That's
happened?
why they were worshipped as gods in Egypt.
That's correct.
Not
Look
doggies.
at you.
Not doggies.
That's
Rough.
Question number 9. A house cat. Can a house cat jump or run up to 30 miles an hour? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go with true.
That is true.
Right on.
That's pretty fast.
They're very fast.
All right. Question number 10. Has there ever been a cat in the White House?
Yes, Bill Clinton's cat.
That's one. That's right.
That was socks.
Arden, do you remember or would you know the first president that ever had a cat in the White House?
I do remember talking about the first raccoon in the White House.
Yes.
But I don't remember the first cat, who it was. I knew about socks, though. I think Reagan might have. No, he had dogs. It was someone else. I do know that it was one.
Abraham Lincoln was the
Abraham
first.
Lincoln. And Trump did not have any animal. And he got yelled at.
There's only 3 presidents that has never had a pet in the White House.
Huh.
Alfred probably would want a White House without a pet. No, he loves his kitties. Loves his. Well, that was good. So how many right did you get? Did you pass or did you fail?
I think I failed.
Oh, boo.
But that's okay because she never had a cat, so she wouldn't have known most of those questions.
That is true. So
But
now,
they were great questions. And
great questions. And by the way, if anyone else would like to join us to ask true and false questions, or just to join us, we are crotchetyoldmen@gmail.com. We are crotchetyoldmen@g.com. Or best way to reach us is not to howl because Santa is watching. Best way is at crotchetyoldmen@gmail.com. I don't know why. Santa is long gone. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. I'm going to go, Abigail. Well, I'm going to ask you your Ask Abigail question, and then I'm going to go on mute so I could hog tie a dog. So, Abigail, what were your thoughts about today's football game, knowing that Joe Biden had never been to an Army-Navy football game, and who also came to the game?
Okay. Well, I think it's, typical Biden not to show up for something that the commander-in-chief certainly should attend. And as far as the pageantry and the gamemanship, it was a great game. But of course, the big highlight was Donald Trump and his entourage going into the booth to watch the game. And they even bought Mr. Penny, the poor kid that got raked over the coals by the New York district attorney. And it was just great to see everyone. And I'm glad the Navy won, quite frankly.
Did you see the picture? It had Penny and Trump, and it said "Merry Christmas, Alvin Bragg."
I guess Mrs. Alfred may have wanted Army. I'm not sure.
You guys live near Army, and I think
Yeah, I guess I did want Army to win, although my dad was in the Navy, so there's really it wasn't the worst thing in the world. But yes, I was rooting for Army.
Does Navy have, this is more towards Alfred, does Navy have a hockey team? We know Army does.
No.
They don't.
Navy does not have an hockey team. Air Force does, though.
Well, they play in Colorado, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
when Army plays Air Force at West Point, it's quite the event, by the way, even in hockey. So
I could imagine. I could imagine. So what I also wanted to quickly go over, since we were talking about the game, so there was an upset today. Navy did win 31-13. That was an upset. But what's interesting is that Army now goes and plays in the Independence Bowl, and their original team they were playing was Marshall. They were supposed to play Marshall. Marshall had a problem. Abigail, did you know what the problem was?
Yeah, something about these players are going into what they call the portal, which to me sounds like some science fiction portal to the aliens or something. What is that?
It's been around for a couple years. It's the transfer portal. So the
Yeah.
Marshall coach left, and he's bringing all of these players with him to the new college. So now there was a scramble trying to find another team for the Independence Bowl. So to qualify for a bowl game, you have to win 6 games. There was not another team that won 6 games. So they found someone that's close to it, and they came up with Louisiana Tech. So right now, if you were a Louisiana Tech player, you finished your game last week, you're like, I'm never going to play football again if I'm a senior. And today, bam, you're now going to a bowl game.
Mm.
Wow.
Independence Bowl. And the Independence Bowl is always represented by at least one military academy. So it's either Air Force, Army, or Navy. I think it's possible if they are asked to other bowls, if they were all great, it's possible that the Virginia Military Academy would be the next in line to automatically play, just in case. So what else? Was there anything else you had to share with us, Mrs. Alfred, since we don't have you?
I'm just curious. You didn't talk about basement coffee. Are we drinking?
All right. So I got to say a little embarrassing thing that happened right now. In fact, I am drinking. I am drinking possibly the worst basement coffee I've ever made. I'm very disappointed. I am drinking French vanilla basement coffee mixed with cocoa.
Ooh.
Thus, I'm not going to brag about it. I did make Abigail a really good basement vanilla cappuccino.
Did you make peanut butter and jelly pancakes this morning?
I'm telling you, those were some damn good pancakes. You guys just don't understand.
They were not good pancakes.
They were good pancakes. If you've never had a stuffed peanut butter, I didn't get the jelly. It's stuffed peanut butter inside a pancake. It was good. Damn kids don't know what they're talking about.
I get where Arden was going. There's nothing better than peanut butter.
Well, if you
Pancakes
don't
are fantastic, but together they were horrid.
You know, if you could have strawberry on a pancake, if you could have peanut butter on a pancake, you can have a strawberry peanut butter pancake. It's my thing. It's my jam.
Sounds pretty gross to me.
So before we go, because we're going to be ending, I would like to apologize again for my dog who I'm staring at right now for growling at Santa Claus. There's going to be nothing. There's going to be coal in your bowl.
I still think it had to do with the talking of the cats.
Well, yeah, well, that's definitely part of too.
Thanks. So,
So with the year ending, we are going to be coming up with possibly new format. We'd like everyone's opinion. We had someone, a couple of people from other countries that were not on the list. We had the Netherlands. We had a couple listeners from the Netherlands. We had one from India as well, so that was good. So if they would like to follow us, please do. We are still international. We're small but international, but share with your friends. If everybody would share with one other or two other people, we would grow. We are still looking to get free pizza because that's what it takes. I think we need a certain amount of followers to make enough money to get free pizza. But if you have any ideas for the program, feel free to let us know. We love it. At Crotchety Old Men on Gmail is the best. We're looking to break the 2,000 followers. We've been stuck around 1,300 followers for a while, so please follow us on that. And Alfred and Mrs. Alfred. I'll be seeing Alfred in January, I believe,
I
where
think that's
where
correct.
where we're going to be having Nerd Fest Part 2.
Nerd Fest.
Yep. So Alfred will get to meet the dogs. And let's
It's
see
gonna
what
be
else.
Abigail's first Nerd Fest.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, she saw parts of it, but now she gets to see it live.
She is not gonna be impressed.
3 grown nerds just nerding together. It's just gonna be awesome. And yeah, the saddest part is that poor Daniel doesn't have a pizza parlor that he's gonna like to walk to.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's gonna
And is
make he's gonna make Alfred drive him to get pizza. Yeah, but that's all right, or Abigail might be nice because Abigail and Daniel like the same pizza. Believe it or not, barbecue pizza, barbecue with chicken and onions.
Yeah.
I've never had that.
It's delicious.
Yeah, that's the pizza of choice. So anyway, feel free to follow us. Abigail, do you have music? Because I completely failed it the last time. If you want to play us out, if you have a few seconds.
I don't. I
You don't.
apologize.
All right, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sing again because it's been a long time.
No.
All right, I won't. Well, thank you, everyone, and it was fun last week. Hopefully, we'll never have to go solo again. If you want to join us, feel free. Reach out to us, just like Mrs. Alfred reached out, and we could do more true and falses. Maybe we could do something on some other animal that people have. So, thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Thank
Happy
you, Mr.
holidays.
Alfred. Happy holidays.
Bye.
It's Merry Christmas. Come on.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
There you go. Bye.
Bye-bye.